what is EVOL Afters.
Good morning, Electric Forest! Welcome to EVOL Afters, baby! And it comes to house every weekend. And it comes to house every weekend.
I'm here to share with you the incredible journey of EVOL Afters, from the most grassroots thing you could possibly imagine to the largest after party at Electric Forest. And if you've been to the afters at Forest, then you know what kind of mayhem it brings. So let's start off with, what is EVOL Afters? EVOL Afters is a after party that we organize in the GA campgrounds of Electric Forest. Essentially, when Electric Forest Music Festival gets out for the night, people go back to camp, you can go to sleep, or you can keep the party going and you come to us. And we keep the party alive well into sunrise. So the story began in 2016. You know, maybe some of y'all have experienced this. You get excited, you convince all your friends to go to this festival, your favorite festival. They're excited, you're excited, and you're like, you know what, you guys? We should ball out at this festival. Like, we should do it big and do it right. Oh, what do you have in mind? Well, how about we get an RV? Yeah, let's do that. So that's what I did. I went ahead and I bought my festival wristband and I bought an RV pass. You might know where I'm going with this, because if you've ever been in an RV at a festival, you'll know it's pretty luxurious, and the price proves it. We're about a month away from Electric Forest in 2016. I'm like, hey, you guys, we got to rent this thing. It's time. It's game time. This is how much it costs. And yeah. So everyone's got to throw in. And they're like, wait, how much? I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it's expensive. It's an RV at a festival. It's not going to be cheap. Oh, bro. Yeah. Listen, I can't swing that. I'm broke. Okay. What about you? Oh, I'm broke too. One by one, all the friends that had agreed to chip in on an RV slowly made their way out. And they're like, yeah, man, sorry, my bad. I just can't afford it. Can't swing it this time. Maybe next year. And I'm just like, damn, I was really excited about an RV. And I'm like, wait a second. I have an RV. My semi-truck is literally my RV. It's a home on wheels. I got a bed. I got a fridge. What else do you need? You know what? Screw you guys. I'm gonna go anyway. I'm going to Electric Forest and I'm bringing my RV, and that's my semi-truck. No trailer, just the truck, just the cab. Can you do that? I don't know. Why not? Why wouldn't it work? It'll work. It'll be fine. We're going to Forest. You coming? Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go. There's a part of this story that's important to tell, because before we went to Forest, one of my best friends in the world, his name's Alex Sigalovich, and he's my fun advisor. And as we were preparing to go to Forest, he's like, well, what are you going to do with the truck? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm going to sleep in it. It's like, yeah, but it's kind of lame. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? He's like, yeah, I mean, if you're already going and you're gonna take your truck to Forest, you should at least make it look cool. I'm like, what do you mean make it look cool? He's like, get some lights or something, make it glow. That actually sounds kind of cool. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm about it. What do you have in mind? He's like, dude, we should get some LED lighting and put it outline your truck. I'm like, all right, that sounds a little expensive, but that could be cool. He's like, let's do it. He's like, you got money? I'm like, no, I got a credit card though. He's like, all right, we're in. And this is Dva debila одна sila. Dva debila одна sila.
Two morons, one strength.
And I'm gonna just show you this photo right here. Never underestimate two idiots with a credit card. This is how the glowing semi came to be. So we get to Forest and he helps me deck the truck out in lights, and we actually had the original EVOL Chicago flag. It was a hand-drawn flag it was huge. We still have it. It's 5 feet by 7 feet wide. It's a giant flag. It's looking great. It's Thursday. Forest, day one. Electric Forest on Thursday is a special moment. You know, the first full day, a lot of energy. We're all excited. Everyone's, you know, full strength, beginning of the weekend. And we come back to camp, keeping the party alive. We're staying up, we're hanging out. You know, there's no music at this point. It's literally like I turn on the semi-truck lighting, so like it's glowing and it's super cool. And we're just like, you know, hanging out, got a little tiny portable speaker, like nothing crazy, you know. And people just keep coming to the truck, and like they get to the truck and we think we're, you know, we're so cool, like, yeah, check out this truck. And they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, I guess. I'm like, what do you guess? Like, it's a glowing semi truck at Electric Forest in the campgrounds. And they're like, yeah, that's cool and all, but you know, we thought there'd be something here. We're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, you can see this truck from like across the campgrounds because it's so tall. It's like 12, 13 feet tall. They're like, you know, when we made our way all the way over here, we thought there'd be something going on here. I'm like what? You know, some like music or something. Yeah, that does sound like a good time. Like we should have some music here or something. And, you know, this is like early in the morning. I've been having a good time. It's like 4 or 5 in the morning, getting ready for bed. And I tell everybody, I'm like, that's it. Tomorrow, we're going to throw a party right here next to the glowing semi. And I remember my brother, he's like, bro, go to sleep. You're an idiot. Just go to sleep. The next day comes rolling around. He's convinced that I have forgotten this whole escapade that I'm on. But I'm one of those types of people that if I have a good idea, I follow through on that idea because it's a good idea. And throwing an after party Electric Forest seemed like a good idea. So I went out on my quest. And the quest was to find everything I need to throw a banging Renegade. So we need speakers, we need power, and we need a DJ. And let me tell you, I did not have to go far. At the end of the camping row that we were on, I found a guy that literally had 2 giant speakers in the bed of his pickup truck. Just like that's what the guy brought to Electric Forest. He wasn't using them. They weren't set up. And I go to him, I'm like, hey bro, you wanna throw a party? He's like, yeah, that'd be cool. Can we just put these speakers over there? And he's like, yeah, that sounds cool. I'm like, sweet. Any chance you got some power? He's like, actually, yeah, I got a generator. I'm like, can we borrow it? He's like, yeah, okay, sweet. All right, got speakers, got power. Man, I need a DJ. And we're a camp from Chicago. We're looking for some house music. I mean, don't get me wrong, we love bass, but Chicago style afters, house music, baby, let's go. But in 2016, it was a little bit harder to find a DJ. The DJ with equipment ready to go at Electric Forest campgrounds. I went back to camp. Hey, guess what? I got some speakers. And I'm like dragging these speakers back to camp. I'm like, guys, I figured it out. We got speakers. And they're like, holy shit. I'm like, you got a generator coming. All we need is a DJ. And literally across the path from our camp, this dude overhears it. He's like, wait, you need a DJ? I'm a DJ. I'm like, oh yeah? Do you play house music? Yeah, that's what I play. You're hired. His name was Danny. Danny Smalls. He's a Canadian dude. I love Canadians, by the way. Side note, Canadians are awesome. Love y'all. Literally, that's how it came together. So this Friday night, everyone comes back from the forest and we literally set up a table, 2 speakers. I don't even think they were on each side. They were like set up right next to each other, and a generator sitting behind my semi truck, and we got ourselves a party. And just like the night before, people are making their way over, and they're making their way over to the glowing semi truck, like the beacon of hope in the Electric Forest campgrounds. And yeah, we just hammered it home. Sunrise every morning. That's just kind of who we are as a camp. And yeah, we had a great time. And this happened Friday, Saturday. We got to do it again. I remember there's another neighbor, believe it or not, and I don't know why or how this happened, but I swear it's forest magic. This neighbor of ours had even more speakers, and he comes up to me, he's like, hey man, love what you're doing. Do you want some more sound? Yes, absolutely. And out of his like RV bus, he pulls out another like 2 tops and 2 subs and sets them up, and we got ourselves a rager. All of a sudden, you know, it's Sunday and we got ourselves like 100, maybe 150 people there, banging it out with some house music. Danny Small's on the decks. Like, we didn't have anyone else. It was just Danny. And he just like playing house music for hours and hours. I mean, we literally played until he was tired. And I remember, oh my God, that year was rowdy. I mean, slapping the bag from the semi truck. Like, I would sit in the truck seat holding the bag, and like there'd be a line of people coming up to the truck to slap the bag. And instead of slapping the bag, they honk the horn to stop the flow. This was how EVOL Afters came to be. And boy, did we have a good time. I'll never forget, Sunday, there was like a pickup truck that just rolled up with a bunch of people in the bed of the truck. I mean, this is like 3 in the morning on a Sunday going into Monday. And this pickup truck pulls up, stops, and unloads like 20 people to the party. And I'm just like watching all this play out, and I'm just like, whoa, this is kind of crazy.
Now watch it bounce. Let me see you bounce. Let me see you bounce right.
And I remember the following year, I was talking with my brother Misha, the owner of EVOL Chicago, and he's like, bro, are we gonna do that again? And I'm like, that was a lot of fun. He's like, all right, well, maybe we should like, I don't know, get some speakers. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. He's like, all right, maybe I'll make a phone call. And he calls up Alex Kislov and RV Mala, 2 Chicago staples in the house music scene. And he's like, yo, man, you guys interested in throwing a Renegade party at Electric Forest? And they're like, yeah, we are. And this concept wouldn't have happened without them, because they came in with sound, DJ equipment. Well, they're 2 of the most talented DJs that I ever did meet. They are absolute G's. And yeah, here we go again. 2017, Electric Forest, double weekend of Forest. We decided we were gonna do it, like really do it. Like Misha found Alex and RV. They were about it. We were about it. We got more sound. We needed this generator. Like, we bought a generator from Home Depot. Like, we're doing it. Like, we're really doing this. Like, the intention was there. We're gonna commit to it. When we went to Electric Forest, we were like, all right, we need a little bit of space here, because we're throwing like a pretty legit situation now. And I remember when we came in, we didn't make it in until Thursday. That's a little late in the game to be coming into Electric Forest. Now, I still had an RV pass, and I still brought my truck. We didn't exactly get the pick of the litter when it came to spots. And for us, throwing a Renegade, like, that was kind of important. But I remember showing up and like, it was full. Like, the RV section was very full. And I'm just like, man, you guys, like, I don't know what to do. Like, there's no room. I remember just kind of throwing my hands up in the air. I was literally with my semi truck, driving past tents and other RVs, and I don't know what to do. And I remember just hitting the brakes and coming out of the truck and just looking around, and I'm like, bro, I don't know where to park this thing. I don't even see a spot. And as I get out of the truck, I'm like waddling at this point. I had broken my foot at a Metallica concert. I went into a mosh pit, and it's take no prisoners in there. And I was in this big medical boot. So I'm like getting out of the truck. I'm like waddling. I'm like, guys, I don't know where to go. Like, I don't see any space. I don't know what to do. And I remember like the exact place where I exited the truck, it was right next to the tent for ADA. This lady looked at me. She's like, "Oh, are you here for the ADA camping?" ADA, what's ADA? You know, Americans with Disabilities. I'm like, oh. She's like, is your foot broken? I'm like, yeah, it really is. And she's like, okay, well, you're ADA, so you can camp right here. And she like points to a primo spot, like right next to where we are. Yeah, okay. I back up, I park. And I remember there was a small camp of like 3 people in the spot next to us, in an RV spot. We went up to them and we're like, hey, so we're trying to throw like this Renegade party. We kind of need to have a bunch of room. Like, do you all care to share your space with us? And they're like, yeah, we love that. So they literally moved their whole camp over to their corner, and we moved our camp to our corner, and we literally created this space that was used to throw the Renegade. And the Renegade was great that year. Honestly, it was one of my favorite years because we were just doing whatever we want, and we just played house music. This is early years of Electric Forest for like Renegades and stuff. There were some, but there weren't a lot. Yet again, Sunrise Crew, baby. We were partying till the lights came on. It was a great time. We just played house music into sunrise. You know, it was a straight family affair, right? Now we got our close friends, the Forest fam, coming up. This is back in the day when, you know, we didn't like have a curfew. So we were hammering it till like 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning. There's the people who go from the night into the morning, and then the people who just show up in the morning, like bring their skillet, and they're just like making breakfast and doing yoga. And just the way we saw it, as long as people can still sleep, we were playing house music. You totally sleep to house music, and we're golden. Alex and RV held it down. They knew how to navigate that like wave of like extending out that set into something that is very palatable over a long period of time. And 2017 weekend 1, fantastic.
If you're from Chicago, you know.
And here's where the story got interesting. It was 2017 weekend 2. And yeah, we did it again. Same setup, same story. We came in, ADA, me and my broken foot with our neighbors. They were kind enough to, again, let us share some of their space too. And there's a story here that I gotta share. I don't know if I'm allowed to share, but hey, this was back in the day. This won't happen again, but I gotta share this because it was insane. And we go into the event Thursday. We're in the forest. The event finishes off and the forest is closing down for the night. And I get a phone call, and it's my brother, Misha. And Misha's like, yo, bro, you gotta come here as soon as possible. Like, get over here. I'm like, dude, what's going on? He's like, we got a problem. We fired up the generators, we started playing, and security rolled up on us. And they're like, you guys are too loud and we can't have this. We're getting noise complaints. You're gonna have to shut it down. And my brother's like, what's the problem? He's like, honestly, your generator, it's way too loud. And like, in their defense, like that generator sounded like a helicopter taking off. Like, it was that loud. It was abrasive. And my brother's talking to me. He's like, bro, you got to come over here as fast as possible. I'm like, dude, I'm literally in a medical boot with a broken foot. Like, how fast do you think I am? He's like, I don't care. Like, do what you got to do. Get over here. He's like, I convinced the security to give us one more chance. I'm like, Jesus. He's like, dude, get over here. We got to figure this out. I'm like, oh boy. All right. And it took me a while to get back to camp. I'm in literal pain. I am hobbling at this point. And so I get back to camp, and there's like the whole crew and a bunch of people waiting for the party to begin, because at this point, like, people had figured out that we're gonna throw a banger. So I get to camp and we're all standing around, and here's Misha, and he's like, hey bro, we got one chance to make this work. I'm like, dude, what? He's like, yeah man, this generator's way too loud. We need to figure it out. I'm like, all right, well, what do we do? He's like, all right, look, man, you drove your truck, but our friend came using your car. You know, maybe we can use your car to like muffle the sound a little bit. I'm like, of the generator? Like, how are you gonna do that? And my brother's like, so we were thinking, what if we put this generator into your car, roll down the windows, prop up a box fan, and run it all night? I'm like, what? I had a Honda Fit back in that day, and it's a little hatchback situation that could fit our generator. That's what we did, and it worked. This thing, and it had like a sensor on it to show if it was overheating, and it was hot, but it wasn't overheating. Like at some point it stopped rising and it just worked. So for the next 4 days, we proceeded to run that generator in my Honda Fit all night long with a box fan and the windows down. And let me tell you right now, even when I sold that car, years later, it still smelled like exhaust fumes. The second weekend, we're partying again. It's well into sunrise now, like 6 a.m. And all of a sudden, these 2 golf carts roll up. And at first we're like, oh, are we gonna have problems right now? And the golf carts park, a bunch of people pile off, and they just start vibing and partying with us. And we're like, oh, all right. And I remember one of my friends comes up to me, he's like, hey, you know who that is, right? He's like, you see over there? That's Pasquale, the owner of Insomniac. Turns out Pasquale loves house music, and they got wind that the Chicago camp is playing some good house music. So they were there for it. And I remember I was at the point in the morning when I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm gonna go talk to him. Pasquale's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, truly. He is as kind in person as he is on the screen. I chatted him up. Like, I was talking to him for, it must have been an hour. One of the things we talked about was, I was like, hey, Pasquale, you know, I was just at your festival recently in Texas called Middlelands, and it was awesome. Now, if anybody remembers Middlelands, it was a one-off thing. You know, it was the best time. Bass Nectar killed a llama. It was a whole thing. Basically, Texas was like, don't come back. And the cool thing about that specific festival was that they had like a Renegade area. And I remember going to that, and I was just like having the best time, like all the sound camps in one area, and anyone who wants to keep the party going can just go there. And I brought that up to Pasquale. I'm like, hey man, have you ever thought about maybe doing something like that over here? Like having these sound camps? You know, maybe, I don't know if you're open to it, doing something like that would be super cool. He's like, yeah, you know, that's not a bad idea, you know, I'll think about it. But I don't even think he said that. He just kind of heard me out. It's like 7 a.m. at this point. I didn't think much of it. We finished off, and it was a great time. 2017, weekend 2, if anyone was there, it was a great time that year. And in general, 2017 is still to this day one of my favorite years. You know, we go home happy. We had a great time. It was a great event. And then sometime between 2017 Force and 2018, my brother Misha gets a call. He tells me about it. He's like, I just got off the phone with Electric Forest. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they literally asked if we would be interested in being a sound camp at Electric Forest. I'm like, dude, what? Like, yeah, apparently Pasquale dropped the name of that Chicago camp that was playing house music. Oh yeah? I'm like, what'd you say? He's like, yeah. I said, yeah, we'll do it. And that's the story of how EVOL Afters started. The true grassroots situation, and there's gotta be a part 2, of course. because this is how it started. But I'd love to tell you how I got to where it is today, because that is a whole nother story. Yeah, I just want to say that this party honestly would not have happened without Mishra and EVOL Chicago. EVOL Chicago has been the reason, literally the reason, why there was any money to do anything. If you've supported EVOL Afters over the years, we really just want to say thank you so much for all the support and all the love that you've shown us over the years. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, consider tapping that thumbs up button and consider joining me as a subscriber. I'm going to be rolling out with more footage and content about the behind the scenes of EVOL Afters, share some stories that I may or may not be allowed to share. Part 2 coming up here shortly, so be on the lookout for that. If you find this content fun and interesting, join me on this adventure. Much love and happy forest, fam. I literally can't wait for Electric Forest. Yes, it's almost here. It's almost here. We're going to the forest, baby. Let's do it. It'll be my 10th forest. 10th forest. Woo! Much love and happy forest.